Good afternoon. Thank you guys for allowing me to come and present to you our hopeful solution for your business. As you have seen, I've passed out some slides here that we will just follow along. The slides mostly cover about our solutions with Spectrum Business and Spectrum Enterprise. We're going to cover what type of products that we have. We're going to cover some of the things, some of the other companies that we help, the abilities that we have to help your company, and some case studies on what we have done in the past and what we hope to do in the future. So if you will look at those slides, and we'll get to those in just a second, but just a brief overview of what I understand that you all are needing. Looks like that you have got a total of 10 locations. And you currently have our product at one of your locations, which is your fiber internet, or our internet at your location, your main location there. It looks like you're running an MPLS setup on your other locations. Also looks like you've got some copper solutions, and you have also got you're currently using a PRI and some POTS. And based on what you were telling me earlier, you of course are looking for a unified solution with all locations, which is very doable, very easy to do. Also, you're looking at SIP, which would be a solution for your telephones, which again we can also provide that without any questions. And you've also mentioned about our cloud services and our Office 365. We currently have that through a company called Navisite, which we own, which is a part of Spectrum Enterprise. We'll get to that a little bit later on into the presentation. Navisite is a great product that we have brought on along with all of our other solutions with Spectrum Enterprise. So we're looking forward to the customer growth in that part of the business, and so hopefully you can be one of the newer customers on Navisite. So as we go further into this presentation. Also, I'm sorry that you did mention that you would like to have TV at your locations as well. I believe that you're currently using DirecTV. So, and obviously, Spectrum being part of Charter or Time Warner, we are a TV product built company. So we will certainly add that into the solution that we can find for you. So if you'll look at the slides that I've provided for you, excuse me. And if we can go to slide number 3 to start off with. So business today, as you know, is growing. It's growing not per se in people, but in business needs. And in business needs right now, technology is the driver. So bandwidth is obviously a growing commodity. It is a commodity that businesses are wanting as fast as they can. They want to purchase it as fast as they can, and they want it to be as fast as it possibly can be. And that's where we come in. Spectrum Enterprise has got millions of miles of fiber routes that are in place. We are investing billions of dollars into our new fiber routes, into our new technologies. So we're doing that in order to keep up with the demand, the needs of new business, and what businesses need out of their technology. So as we go through this, as it shows on page 3, clients, employees, business leaders. Clients, you being a potential client for us. Employees, obviously needing to have the best technology at their hands in order for efficiency for them. Business leaders. We are a business leading in our industry, and we need you to be business leaders in your industry, and that's how we can hope to get you there. There's some on page 4, just some brief numbers on how much data is used, how much bandwidth is used. For instance, one major retailer uses 20 million. Can fill up the equivalent of 20 million filing cabinets worth of data per hour. 83% are moving to cloud data. The remarkable thing that not many people think about, still on this same slide, smart devices, average of 3.3 per employee at your business. So you do the math there, that's eating up a lot of bandwidth, and at times can eat up a lot of lost productivity due to poor speed, reliability issues, connectivity issues. Again, something that we will address. Again, data, business growth, data has got to be faster, better, the best that it can be. On the page 6, Spectrum Enterprise. Who are we? We are a Fortune 100 company. We serve unique needs of large organizations and small organizations. We provide network, cloud, and IT infrastructures. We are mid-market enterprise, carrier assets of Time Warner Business Class, Spectrum Business Enterprise Solutions, and Bright House Networks. That's all the conglomeration of Spectrum Enterprise. What do we have? What do we have to offer you as a company and company-wide and nationwide? 2.2 billion annual revenue. As I mentioned earlier, 230,000 fiber route miles. We have got 20 years of managed service for our technology, our IT departments, from our construction, from our project management, our engineering, our sales engineering. And then we have got something that we will mention later. One thing that sets us apart is our SLAs, our service level agreements. We are unparalleled in those compared to other companies, the other telecommunication companies. Also, something that you all are interested in is we are the third largest Ethernet provider in the United States. Ethernet being what you all are currently using a configuration of MPLS. Ethernet provided solution is what we would offer you for your connectivity throughout your branches. On to page 8, obviously this is some of most of the products that we offer. Fiber internet access, of course, which gives you your internet access at whichever locations you prefer. Network solution, back to the Ethernet that we had talked about earlier. Voice solutions. We have just recently launched our hosted voice, which won't per se come into play here, but it's pretty interesting how we're going to do that. So voice solutions obviously are SIP or PRI, which you're familiar with. TV solutions, again, an interest that you have. Core hosting, which could come into play for you as far as disaster recovery, as far as keeping some equipment needs or equipment costs lower for you. Managed multi-cloud and managed applications, which falls into the Navisite area, and then end user computing, again with the Navisite. So on to page 10. On page 10, this shows basically what we do across the country, across our reach as Spectrum Enterprise. The clients that we reach, it shows you that we are reaching government entities, schools, medical practices, from small doctors' offices to hospitals, university colleges. Shows the number of fiber-lit buildings and schools that we have. And then on down through those slides, it just shows different cities that we currently have pulled some numbers from: St. Louis, Dallas, Los Angeles, San Antonio, and Wisconsin. So you're welcome to look over those for just a few minutes. Then on page 16, slide 16. One thing that sets, in my opinion, that sets Spectrum apart from our competitors is this: we are a hands-on team. From the beginning of this, from the sales to the sales engineering to the project management to the construction, and then even after the installation and turn-up, our account management team. And this slide on page 16 helps to define that a little bit more. So I like the fact that at no part are you going to be handed off to a group that has never been part of the process from the get-go. So we are all going to be involved in the initiation, the initialization of your product, the turn-up, and then the needs after the turn-up. Because as things grow, you're going to need us to continue to help you in that growth. So as you can see on the first portion of that, one team to guide and advocate, which is all of us that you will meet through this process. through billing, coordination, restoration, delivery, and operations. And then another experience for you guys is the portals that we have for you to have control over some things as far as routing, voice controls, and then your data detailed reports. And then another thing that sets us apart is the proactive monitoring and technical support. So there's going to be times that we may show up and there needs to be something changed on your router that you didn't even know that you had an issue with. With our NOC, our Network Operating Center, is solely for you as a Spectrum Enterprise customer. So you don't fall into the regular call center, although they are nationwide in the United States. Our Spectrum Enterprise, our fiber customers have a NOC that you call into. Once you gain that ticket number, you pass that on to our account manager, and our account manager helps the process. And as I will mention later on, in that process, we've got or in the SLA that you will sign, we have got a guarantee, an agreement with you that we have a 4-hour mean time to restore, meaning that from the initiation of the ticket up to 4 hours, that is our time frame to have you back in service. And again, on page 17, back to our SLA, our mean time to restore is 4 hours, but on top of that, we've got a 99.99% guaranteed reliability, meaning that you should have the speed, the speed and the reliability, the serviceability of the product that you buy 99.99% of the time. On top of that, we have got in that NOC that I mentioned earlier, the Network Operations Center, we have got a 24/7, 365. 30-second, typical 30-second answer time for those. And so that is all included in what you pay, what you will get us. There's no ongoing contract fees as far as service fees. That's all included from the beginning. No surprises there from beginning to end of your contract. Again, on page 18, we're going through some the fiber internet access, which I had mentioned earlier. It's scalable from 25 meg to 10 gig in your area or at your locations. Again, guaranteed availability, and then available and affordable. We're going to do our very best to make sure that we are the number one option for you. We try to make sure that we have got fiber everywhere that we can, especially in the locations where you have your businesses. If we can't, again, as I will mention later, we do have the ability to purchase circuits from other wholesale circuits from other telecommunication companies, and then put our IP, our technology across those circuits. So, and as we mentioned, 2 of your locations are out of our footprint. However, we have already taken a look at those, and we do have the availability to purchase circuits and get those services to those 2 locations that are out of our footprint. The network services on page 19 just goes through some of the things that you will see on with us. Ethernet services, as mentioned, wavelengths or layering through the fiber, managed router, managed Wi-Fi, and we'll go over those. Ethernet services, as I had mentioned, we are the number 3 carrier for Ethernet services in the United States, the 3rd largest. We can extend your LAN in a few different options depending on how you want to set it up. And it looks like that what we would be doing for you is called an EP LAN, is what we call it, or an any-to-any. And what that does is it gives you some redundancy. So I know that right now your fiber internet is at one location. So some routing issues could happen. If there was one that would go down, you could go through another route to get to that main location, which is something that we do often. On the Ethernet, we do go down as far as speeds. As mentioned in the fiber internet, we go down 25 meg. On the Ethernet, we go down to 10 meg, and then again up to the 10 gig, depending on what your needs are. On the Ethernet service, again, we have a client portal, which what that does for you is it gives you some access to monitoring. So you can monitor the usage per LAN, per location. You can see what kind of reliability, if any issues arise, we can address those. You can see what circuits are being utilized the most. If there needs to be an adjustment of speed, if you need to go up, one is, if you have one at 10 and you really need, your utilization is closer to 80 or 90% on that, we may need to bump it up to the 20 meg option. So you can see all of that. You can see the time the packet transfer, how quick that's happening. If there's any loss on those circuits, you can see how that goes. And those reports, as mentioned here, go down to hourly, daily, all the way up to quarterly. So you can see exactly what you need. Wavelengths, I won't bore you a whole lot with this. It's just how our data is transferred across our optic network. You're welcome to look over this, but I don't want to go too deep into that to get us lost so much. Just know that we are able to do multiple wavelengths across our optic network, so that we don't have to have a large fiber optic cable at your location because of our technology that we're able to put across that fiber. Managed router service, again, depending on if your company is interested in this, managed router, we can handle everything through Spectrum. We can handle all your routing between your going out to the internet or your internal, your managed routing. Again, scalable on that. Keeps what the managed routing does for you is, with that fee that we have set up with you at the initial setup, you don't have any ongoing cost with that. So in 3 years, when it's time to upgrade your router, we're already taking care of that for you. In 5 years, or maybe less, less than 3 years, in 2 years when there's a software update, we take care of that for you. So that's one of the largest benefits that companies see with our managed routing service is the reduced costs on hardware and software. So managed Wi-Fi, I know that we haven't talked about that, or you haven't mentioned that, but that is something else for your branches that we may consider. Managed Wi-Fi, so we can offer that in a branch or in all of your branches. That's a turnkey setup. And so what we do is we come in and we set up our access points. We do a survey of your locations inside, see how many access points you're going to need, and then we set that up. And again, that's another hands-off for you. There's no need for you to contact anyone other than us and Spectrum. So this would be if you wanted to have a public Wi-Fi access for your customers as they're waiting, or just for something for ease of use for some of your employees to not be on your network. So a managed Wi-Fi option is there. Voice solutions, I'm going to kind of buzz through this because the voice solution that we have talked about is really going to be for a SIP solution, which is going to be in that first column, and in the second column there, PRI and SIP. We've talked about SIP for you, which is a newer technology when it comes to PBX setups. Hosted communications is something that you're going to be hearing from Spectrum, which we are going to be doing. It's basically a cloud solution for our voice. So the PBX that you have, we actually will host that in a cloud. You'll have one piece of equipment there at each branch if we were doing a hosted voice. And then we would do the whole PBX routing, hosting, etc. In the cloud. So that is something we have launched right now. And again, going through the hosted communications on page 26 and 27 goes through that. Enterprise trunking, again, is on the hosted voice. Voice services have a client portal on the hosted voice portion of things, just like our Ethernet, just like our managed router does. Page 32 is our video solutions. We do everything from, again, small locations up to larger locations like hotels. We do a lot of hospitality and hospitals, government buildings, education, schools. We do enterprise businesses, which are large businesses, 500 employees or over. So we certainly have the ability to handle the needs that you're asking for. Hospitality, you certainly won't fall under the hospitality solution of things because of the amount of users that you have. but you will certainly have the ability to have video solutions in your location. We can do that depending on how many outlets you need per location. It would not be an issue at all. On slide 34, it goes through as I mentioned earlier, our Navisite, which is our Office 365, and then slide 35 goes into a little more detail. Office 365 obviously is the Microsoft Office software version of, a web-based version of Microsoft Office, which gives your users a lot of ease. But for you, what it does is it keeps you from having to pay the upfront cost and the continual licensing cost. We handle all of that for you. So you have a user application that you and your users can use without having to worry about maintaining and upgrading that. And that, again, like I mentioned in the managed router services, that's another upfront cost that we take care of, and it's an ongoing cost that you don't have to worry about because it has already been taken care of. So at the end of that, on page 37, it's just a little thank you. So again, thank you for your time. And that was just a little brief overview of what we offer, what we have to offer, what we can offer you. So a little homework for both of us. I can tell you that of your locations, of your 10 locations, 2 of those are on net, meaning that there's fiber there. 6 of those are called auto build, which means that you have got a fiber option very close, so construction cost is very low, and meaning that we can put that into process really quick. 2 of the locations are what we consider out of footprint, so we will be buying a circuit from the other telecommunication company in that area. But again, it's their fiber, it's our technology. We do a handoff, a cross-connect handoff. So it is our technology across their fiber. Just one thing to remember on the what we call the Type 2 or the 2 that are out of footprint, the SLA may not cover those because we don't have the ability to actually repair if the damage is to the fiber. So we can't guarantee the 2 out of footprints, the 4-hour mean time to restore. We can't do that for those 2. On the SLA, that's just something to keep in consideration. So a couple things that I'll ask of you. Make sure that I've covered everything for you. All the needs that you feel like that you have, if I answered the questions for you. And a homework thing for you would be if you could provide me, if you don't mind, if you could provide me a list of your telecommunications currently. So current bills at all your locations that we don't currently host, which is all of them except 1. So if you could provide me a copy of that, you're welcome to mark out the dollars, the amounts. I'm not interested in those. I just want to have those so I can have that to go by as we proceed to find you a solution. So everything on our part is good. I look forward to being able to help you guys out. I think it will be a tremendous change for you. I think you will see just from the reliability, from the hands-on that you will get from myself, account manager, sales engineers, etc. That you'll be surprised at how hands-on that is, and even after the turn-up, as I mentioned, that somebody's going to be available for you at all times to make sure that we don't have to worry about that 4-hour mean time to restore, that everything stays up and going. And I look forward to it. I think it'll be a great opportunity for both of us, and you're welcome to ask any questions or any feedback. I would be more than happy to answer those, and thank you again.